In this lesson, we'll complete posing our extremes. We'll go to frame 20 to add our next pose. And for this pose, this is where the character is pulling back now, so we can go ahead and translate him down some. Okay, and also bring him back in the Z and rotate him back. But not all the way, because what we want to do is check out the elbows right now. Notice how they're pointed kind of weird. So to fix that, we'll just go ahead and bring these elbow controls down, okay, to a better position. Excellent. Then we could go to the shoulders. Before we actually begin pulling them back a little bit more in the center of gravity, let's bring his shoulders forward for the pull. And it's not going to be much because it is a light pull, not heavy at all. So bring those forward and up too, based off of his arm position, since he's moved down with his hands on the handle where they are. Great. And now we can go ahead and pose out, continue posing out the character. So we could bring him back in the X, in the center of gravity. Then we want to bring him forward in with his back control. Remember, we want to achieve that C curve in the pull for the line of action for the back. Alright, I think we could bring this back control back for the C curve. Great. And for his head, since he's pulling here, the follow through is going to have his head move forward. So we'll go to the neck and rotate that forward, and the head will rotate down too in that same direction. Okay, and we can see the C curve here. Great. And then for the center of gravity, let's even rotate that back some more in the X. And notice his hands are coming off the handle, so we want to translate them forward to fix that. And here we see that the right arm is pretty much a little bit more forward than the left. So let's go and pose out the character like that, and then we could go to the left arm and just move that forward in the rotate Y to the point where the arm just locks up like that. Alright, great. And that's just so we can avoid that IK popping. We don't want any of that, and we don't want the hands coming off the handle. And they may, in this beginning section, especially when we just start setting the character to a more smoother tangency, but we'll adjust that. Okay, so now here's what we get. We have 3 poses in here set. Awesome. Now we can go ahead and move on to the next pose. So we'll go to frame 30, and this is where he's moving back. We're going to have him step back with that right foot. So let's select the right knee and right foot control, and we'll get the center of gravity control, his elbows, let's get those selected, okay, and the crate, we'll select that too. And now on frame 30, let's have him move back. Okay, not all the way, we don't want the crate all the way to its stopping mark, maybe about here. Then we could go to this right foot and bring that back some more so that the body will be balanced. Okay, then we'll check it out in more than one view, and it looks fine. So now what we can do, since he's pulling back a little bit more, is move these shoulders a little bit more forward, just a tiny bit more. Okay, and then we could go ahead and go to a center of gravity and just translate that back some till the arms are locked. Great, just to where the arms are locked. Then we could go to his head control and rotate that forward a little bit more, and also his neck control will rotate forward, and also his head control, bring that down a little bit more. Excellent. So here's what we have now. We've got another pose set where he's now stepping back. Alright, great. And if we wanted to, I think on frame 30 we can go ahead and go to his back control and rotate that forward a little bit more, and then go to his rotate X and then bring that back some more in the center of gravity. Okay, so we could get some more motion in there. Excellent. So now we reach the point where the character is now bringing the crate all the way back to its stopping mark. So let's work on that. We can have him go ahead and move a little bit more back in the Z, and forward some more in the X. And for his back, we could straighten that up or bring it back a little bit more, and also his chest, we could bring that back some more. Then we could take the center of gravity and move that forward some more. And then for his shoulders, let's go to his shoulders and rotate those back slightly for him pulling back. Do the same thing for the left shoulder. Okay. And then for that pull back, we can go ahead and move his left foot back like so. Okay. Alright, then we go select the crate itself and bring that all the way to its stopping mark. Excellent. And then we'll even bring the character up some, so he's getting closer to standing upright and forward. Rotate him forward some more, and also back some more with his back control and his chest. And let's say we take the neck and we rotate that up some more, and his head too, again for that pull that he's doing here. Alright, great. Let's see. So here's what we get now. Excellent. So now we can work on that last pose where the character is now standing upright, having finally pulled the crate all the way back, and now he's in more of a resting position. So let's go to the rotate X, move that forward. Go to the translate Y, bring him up. Could even bring up the or bring forward the X a little bit more so that the center of gravity is pointed like so. And then we'll go to the back control, bring that back. Okay, and again posing based off of our storyboards, and from here we could see how a big help they are when making our poses. Alright, for the neck, let's bring that up, and his head we could bring up a little bit too. For his shoulders, we could bring those back. So let's do that. Okay, and everything else looks pretty good. What we'll also do is go ahead and shift his right foot over a little bit more to the right, and also bring out his heel pivot a little bit more, and then also his knee, his right knee. And the reason why we're doing that is once the character steps back to get into a more comfortable position, he's actually going to shift his opposite foot over. Okay, so that's going to add to more of the believability in the animation. Then also on frame 50 we could translate him a little bit more to his right because of that shift in preparation to that. Okay, so with these things done, we have now pretty much completed our extremes for this animation. So if we go ahead and scrub through, here's what we have. Okay, and then we can scrub through and see if there's anything else in our poses that we can fix. Not even like on frame 50 to take the center of gravity and move that a little bit more forward, so he's more leaned into the handle. Alright, great, that's better. Excellent. So if we hide our NURBS curves, start back the animation, and do a play blast, we can see our poses and the timing that our poses are happening. So let's check that out. And we can render off a play blast from this view here. I'm just going to pause the video and do that. Here it is. So if we hit spacebar, we can play our animation. Alright, so there are poses and they're looking pretty good. But notice the timing. The timing is off on a few of our poses, okay, when those actions are happening. So we want to adjust that. And just FYI, if you want to go ahead and scrub through the F check, you could just use the left mouse button and click and drag. So let's say if I wanted to stop this using the left mouse button and holding, that'll stop the animation. And if I scrub to the right, it'll play the animation forward, and scrubbing to the left will reverse the playback of the animation. So that will come in handy, or may come in handy for you. So we've got our animation blocked out, and our next task is actually going to be to basically adjust the timing at which these poses are happening, and then prepare to finalize the animation by starting to smooth out our poses. So we'll begin that process in the next lesson.